Hey, good evening. This is Dennis Wong coming from Winnipeg. A couple of things that trigger me to talk about respiratory health. I was doing some running around and grocery shopping tonight, but in Winnipeg, the temperature is really warm. Yeah, I'm saying really warm because it's only about -1 or -2 degrees Celsius compared to a week ago, we were -40 degrees Celsius. So this is actually really warm temperature for us Winnipegger. And with that, we got a bit of the wind, especially south wind, and that once in a while will cause me sneezing and some allergic reaction, Highland. And so that kind of made me think about talking about the respiratory health. And the other thing was that I was actually interviewed by one of the nutritionists who's setting up the Respiratory Health Summit. And I got interviewed to be one of the expert speakers on the summit, which will be on April 5th. So I will share more information later on about that summit. But those a couple of things said, okay, I should talk about respiratory health. I've looked through, some of the articles and publication, etc., on internet, and generally, what I find is yes, quit smoking, make sure that you have air cleaner, etc., that air pollution can trigger things, keep healthy, exercise regularly, which is traditional, preventative measures, great, but a lot of the people are not talking about is the food trigger and environmental, trigger. Yeah, pollution, but what type of pollution? For me, I live in prairie, and like I said, when south wind blow, I tend to get sneezing and some, uh, you know, runny nose and allergic symptoms that I get because the air is bringing in um, chemicals and dust and stuff that cause me reaction for me so that I start sneezing. And when we talk about reaction and allergic reaction, that actually is your immune reaction. So you have to make sure that your immune system is healthy so that it's not going to overreact to every little thing. And that's going to cause, breathing issue, asthma, etc. And when we talk about keeping the immune system healthy, I'm going back to your gut function because 70% of our mucosal lining in our gut is an immune cell. And the same thing, there's a lot of immune cell in our sinus area, etc. So with that, if your immune system is not healthy and overreacting or inflamed, you will have more reaction to environmental pollutant and to food. And even for some people that the food are normally not supposed to be allergic or sensitivity to some of these food, people may find it that they are sensitive to it. For example, I was talking to one of the patient a couple of months ago, and she said she did a food sensitivity testing because she's been feeling, reaction to every food that she's eating. So she wanted to know exactly what's triggering. So she tested, and the result came back as a 40 plus food that she's sensitive to. And so she was told to stop eating them. There's certain validity to it, but from my point of view and my experience, that when you already have inflamed gut mucosal lining, even though the food that you are not really sensitive to or allergic to, because you're eating it all the time and your immune system in your gut is overreacting, that become sensitivity, the food that gonna trigger sensitivity. But so from my point of view is how can we then heal the inflammation and gut mucosa lining and then redo the testing, and you will find that a lot of those food sensitivity will go away. So that means that that's not really a tooth sensitivity. That is because your gut is inflamed and your immune system is overreacting. So making sure that when you're having, these kind of respiratory issue, uh, allergic reaction, sneezing, etc., and even, if you have uh, already diagnosed asthma condition, etc., great to do all these different things using steroid medication if prescribed properly. On top of that, I will look at your gut function. I will look at your inflammation and what food, the true food that can trigger, like for example, dairy is one of the things, gluten's the other thing. For me, if I drink milk, even before I finish a glass of milk that I'm drinking, I start producing lots of phlegm and I start getting runny nose. I am truly have sensitivity to protein and dairy and milk. So I rarely, actually, I don't drink milk at all, period, for probably uh, 15, 20 years since I figured this out. I still eat certain type of cheese, but I cannot eat every type of cheese. So everybody is different. Everybody's enzyme system, etc., will be different. So you need to figure that out and learn what you can eat, what you can avoid, and how to heal your gut. If you need help with healing your gut and immune system, definitely reach out to me. And then the other thing is that absolutely, if you can attend that respiratory summit that I'm going to be speaking on April 5th. There's going to be about 22 of us so far, going to be talking about whole different area of things, preventative things that you can do to improve your respiratory health. So this is, I hope this is helpful information. This is Dennis Song coming from Winnipeg, and I'm grateful to serve.